Well, hey folks, it's Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin, and Raw Denver just concluded at 8:15. Oh dear, because it's not like you don't have 3 hours to cover the show, or cover the material in the show anyway. But whatever. Let's just start with this. You have Owens and Jericho. That was good stuff, good quality, very funny. Seth, of course, hugely over. Seth's face turn is working out very nicely. I think he'll do just fine. I still think the money is in Seth being a heel down the road, but he could just be a face for now, at least for a couple years. I think it'll benefit him. He is, after that WWE 24 special, it is really hard to boo him, and I was finally able to watch that like about a month ago, so it is very good. And hopefully Seth and Owens can tear the house down. The Sparkle Crotch line, Rollins delivered it, and it didn't sound forced. I mean, it was ridiculous, it was whatever, but Jericho's reaction to it, in particular, was what made it. And that's why it worked. Because you could have the best line in the world, but if the guy that you're feeding it to, or the guy you're saying it to, doesn't react appropriately, then it doesn't work. Jericho played it off perfectly. It was great stuff. I enjoyed it. More tension between Owens and Jericho about the whole thing where Owens wanted to help Chris Jericho. Jericho wanted to do things on his own. And then we have the match, Jericho versus Rollins, rematch of last week's main event. Very good, very top quality. Owens, of course, at one point after saying he wouldn't come out, did come out, and almost cost him, or one could argue cost him the match, except, Jericho got distracted or whatever and got the pedigree, which we knew was going to happen because Rollins has to look strong. Jericho can eat the losses and not necessarily look weak. And then a little later in the show, you had Owens and Jericho arguing backstage. It was very nice as it really is finally just about to explode, the whole friendship between them. I expected it will explode after Hell in a Cell. Who knows? Rollins could win. Rollins could beat Owens at Hell in a Cell or whatever. Or they could stretch it out till Survivor Series and have Jericho beat Owens and then hold the title for a few weeks and then drop it back at TLC or whatever the pay-per-view is. Jericho's supposed to leave later in December, so why not? But anyway, Rollins versus Jericho, very good match. Man, why is Medea still a thing? Tyler Perry, you're not funny. Dear God, this is horrible. This is crap. Why am I seeing these commercials? Lita interviewed Charlotte. Charlotte did a good job recapping the history, hyping the fact that her and Sasha have much history. The four horsewomen, former friends, that kind of stuff, whatever you want to say. Charlotte still, if they allowed her to just go out and say stuff not so scripted, it would work. But scripting her to this point is not doing her any favors. It's not doing Sasha any favors. So actually, I'm just going to talk about the Sasha interview also. Charlotte is fine as a heel, but if they don't give her a chance to actually just, I don't want to say go off cusp, but just be who she can be, then it's not really going to work. Charlotte's just going to sound too forced and too scripted. And same with Sasha. Sasha works better as a heel. Now, yeah, okay, the money in her right now is being a face. She keeps the title and then faces Bayley at Mania 33, which I don't have any doubt is what's going to happen, and I hope that happens. As it would be great for Bayley to finally win the big one on the big stage. And no offense to NXT, she did great there. But that can be fun. But the promos did fine as far as the interviews did fine as far as sparking interest and hyping up the match well, but don't script them to that point because that took a little bit of steam out of it to me. Henry and Golden Truth versus the Shining Stars and Titus. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. It doesn't exist. I don't want any of these guys teaming up or anything. It was horrible. No, I don't want it. Big E versus Sheamus. Hyping the fact that it's New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus at Hell in a Cell for the tag titles. Big E getting the win. More tension between Sheamus and Cesaro. I hope this doesn't mean that Sheamus and Cesaro will win at the pay-per-view. And I only say this. That will put the title reign at 433 days for New Day. There's no point in having New Day at this point a mere, by that time it would be, so let's see, they would be 45 days away from tying the record, 46 days away from breaking it. Why have Cesaro and Sheamus win it now? It would serve no purpose, to me. Extend it into December, have New Day, it would be December 14th, I figured out today, it would be December 14th, they would either tie or break the record. I think December 14th they would break it. And right at TLC, right afterwards, you could have New Day lose. And that would be fine. I would be more than okay with that. Because even though I think New Day's getting stale, might as well go to this point, if you've been hyping the fact that Demolition has been that they're so close to Demolition's record. Go for it. Have some good feuds. Cesaro and Sheamus can go back up. Hell, Cesaro and Sheamus don't even have to win the tag titles. They could be just. They can find out they could be allies even without winning the tag titles. I don't know. Just don't put the titles on them yet. Keep them on New Day. But Big E versus Sheamus was fine for what it was. Bo versus Neville, it was okay. I mean, it was weird to see Bo get the win. I mean, I'm glad that Bo's on a bit of winning streak. Where does this leave Neville? It just seems a little odd. And then Bo, of course, attacks Axel afterwards, mean like, Bo's a one-man show and everything, and it's a little crazy. The Bo leaving Bo. So this probably means we could get Bo versus Axel on the Hell in a Cell pre-show, which I'm fine with if Bo goes over, because Axel at this point doesn't mean anything. Dana versus Bayley. The match was okay for what it was, but then you had the weird finish where, Dana pulls Bayley into the ring after, pulls her in hair first, back of her hair first, right through the ropes, and then 1, 2, 3, and Dana tries to get her feet on the ropes, but of course Dana botches because that's what Dana does, and it was just a weird finish. It was just really odd. It just felt flat. And it's like Bayley was confused. It's like even Dana was like counter. It's like, count her down. And that kind of stuff. It's like, Dana, were you not supposed to say that? I mean, that kind of was a little ridiculous. But whatever. I find it a little funny that with the way they hyped this and not having them wrestle the past couple weeks, if I recall, like Bayley attacked Dana 2 weeks before. Last week, Dana attacked Bayley. Why didn't you put him in a tag match or something and have this built up as like an undercard women's feud into Hell in a Cell? Because I think you could have had something here. You just gave this away where, yeah, Bayley could get the win at Hell in a Cell, but it seems a little odd that they would give the title, or they would just give the match here. I mean, it wasn't for a title, obviously, but I fear that if Bayley loses, they could try to push Dana into the title picture, and that would be a mistake at this point. Shout out to @Jeremy8911. Dana does need to go back to NXT, at least till after Mania, because at this point, Dana is not working. Dana is too green. She's too green in the ring, and too orange, too orange like a Cheeto. It's ridiculous. Heyman with a good promo, good pre-tape promo, whatever. Usual hype for, Goldberg, you don't want to do this, you don't want to piss off Brock Lesnar, da-da-da-da. It worked. Braun versus 3 guys, more squash matches, I like this. Zayn comes out for no reason after Braun says he wants more competition. I'm like, so this is what they're going to do. Zayn has a great match at Battleground, match of the year candidate, is barely used at SummerSlam, added to a last-minute match, barely used it all after that, and now they're going to have him fed to Braun. Like, at Hell in a Cell, I don't think there's any doubt Braun's going to beat Zayn. It's just weird, because it's like Zayn is so over and such a great talent, and I mean Sami Zayn, I don't mean Zayn, the untalented one from One Direction. Sami Zayn's just very talented, and it's just a damn shame that this is the best they could do with him. Now, don't get me wrong, him and Braun can put on a good match. I think Zayn will bump fine, and Zayn will make Braun look really strong, and it will work, but it just seems bad that this is the best they have for him. Lana in plaid, my God, Lana just looked great. That's just, wow, Lana looked great. The Rusevs. I mean, this was about as bad as you would expect. I mean, it was, a montage of pictures or whatever of, various people that are Rusev's family. Maybe they actually were his family. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I don't actually know much about his family, but if it was his family, cool, then that was fine. If not, whatever. It was for a wrestling segment. Don't you boo my mother was the line of the night to me. I was like, yes, don't you boo my mother. That was the best line of the night. The worst line of the night comes a little later. But that was fine. Reigns coming down. My God, Reigns got booed. Oh my God, he got booed. And Rusev beats him down afterwards. Rusev will not beat Reigns for the title. He will not beat him for the U.S. title in Hell in a Cell, sadly. Unless, they want to put Reigns back in the main event. And dear God, don't do that, because Reigns is getting booed as a U.S. champion. He's not going to get cheered in the main event. And it shows that he's not being punished at all. Then again, this U.S. title U.S. title reign shows that he wasn't going to be punished ever. It was pretty pathetic. Anyway, again, Lana and Plaid, my goodness. Emmalina, terrible name. Love Emma. Hopefully Emma can overcome this. She's charismatic and a very good worker. So I hope she can overcome this. But Emmalina is a terrible name. It's maybe not even be like a DreamWorks princess. Maybe like a Disney direct-to-video princess where they didn't even try. Like they just phoned it on and everything. So let's see. So they had the Sasha interview. I already talked about that. Big Cass versus Anderson. That was quick. I mean, I guess they're having this as an undercard tag feud, which I'm fine with. I don't know about Enzo and Cass taking a loss, but you have to keep Gallows and Anderson looking strong as a team. So Gallows and Anderson will probably beat them at Hell in a Cell, whatever. Enzo and Cass need to be primed to get a shot at the tag titles, starting at the Rumble and building them up or whatever, and have them face Gallows and Anderson. If Gallows and Anderson are the ones to take the titles from New Day in December, then I'm all for it. But it was just quick. It was just a weird, rushed match, and it kind of just took away any momentum that Gallows and Anderson had, because it wasn't like they started to beat on Enzo afterwards or Cass. They just left. It was just weird that they did that. And then final match, T.J. Perkins, Rick Swann, almost said Eric Swan, not the football player. Perkins, Swan, Alexander versus Kendrick, Gulak, and Nice. They rushed the entrances, and they rushed the match. And this is a shame because this is what I fear was going to happen to the Cruiserweights. While they can provide great matches, they're rushing it, they're butchering it, and they don't have to give every single one of them personality, but don't just throw them in there and say, ooh, Cruiserweights, ooh, Cruiserweights. You do that, it's not going to serve any purpose. And whatever. I think that they can do more with it. Perkins and Kendrick are the only ones with a storyline. I like Tony Nese. I hope he gets featured more. And Gulak's a very good talent. Swan is very over, and so is Alexander. So hopefully more guys get integrated, and you can have some multi-man matches on various pay-per-views and get some good stuff. Why not have a few of the cruiserweights versus a few like lightweight wrestlers on SmackDown or something like that? I mean, I know SmackDown's lean on talent, but have something. Just do something if you're going to do this cross-brand thing. And then you had Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley. It was just weird. It was just weird because it's like, I can't decide, is Stephanie a face, a heel? What is she? Foley, is Foley even coherent? I don't know what's going on. It's really weird. Stephanie sometimes will emasculate Foley, then will put him over. It's just weird. So I hope this gets cleared up soon. I think that this could come with Foley being the mastermind of having Triple H come down and attack Reigns and Rollins and whatever. And who knows? I mean, whatever. It'd be different because we do not need Stephanie aligning with Triple H, even though they're obviously married, because we do not need the Authority 2.0. Dear God, we don't need that again. And then Goldberg came down. Boy, they took forever. They had hype packages throughout the night showing his best moments and then showing various short clips, as opposed to long clips, of his match versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20. What a train wreck that was. Cole at one point, introducing Goldberg, the greatest WCW champion in history. How dare you? How dare you shit on Ric Flair? How dare you shit on Sting? Hogan, I mean, granted, I don't think they would mention Hogan. Hogan was a better WCW champion. Goldberg was a one-time WCW champion, maybe 2 times. I mean, I think he might have won it closer to Starrcade. I don't remember. But he was a one-time champion for sure. Hell, Vader. I mean, Vader was a great WCW champion. Steve Austin never won it, but I mean, it's like, good God, guys. That's the best. I mean, Booker T was a better WCW champion. Jeff Jarrett was a better WCW champion. Goldberg did a great job making WCW matter and helping keep them neck and neck in the ratings, and it was well done, for that time. But Goldberg's problem is he couldn't evolve. He was not a good enough worker. He had the it, but that was it. That was all he had. He didn't have very good work. Goldberg talking, no. It's like, look, he was very passionate. It just obviously meant a lot to him. His son was able to get to see him, in a ring again. That is cool. I don't mind the man Goldberg being able to do something for his son. It's very nice and everything. But how can you expect a guy that wasn't very good, and he's nearly 50. He's going to be 50 in late December. So he'll still be 49, obviously, at Survivor Series, the more you know. But come on. Goldberg cannot, no. Goldberg is not going to be able to compete. He was already winded at his damn entrance. I mean, good God, he was already breathing heavy there. Now, I don't know, maybe it was the smoke that he breathed in. Maybe it was all the, pounds and pounds of clothing that he wore. I don't know. But it was nice that he got to celebrate with his son afterwards, and that was cool and everything. That was fine. I have no interest in watching Goldberg versus Lesnar. It's not going to be a good match. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be a big train wreck, and I don't care how motivated the guys are. The guys are too old now to really put on something. Brock needs to be with a younger guy that can, sell for him, carry him if need be, because Brock only does a few moves. Goldberg needs the right guy to carry him, and that's not Brock. I am not interested in this match. There are people that are. I wonder if they were piping in some of the Goldberg chants. Now, they seemed loud, But I looked at a lot of the crowd shots, and they were quick, and I'm like, I see some people chanting Goldberg, but was that enough to fill the arena? I don't know. I wasn't there. So if anybody that watches this was actually there live at the arena, tell me. Tell me if they weren't piping in the chants, and if you guys were really that loud. Because the chants sounded loud, and there were people chanting. I'm just curious. Anyway, so that is my opinion. I'm going to give this Raw a C. It had some good hype for Hell in a Cell. But really, I mean, that ending just fell flat because I just don't care. I just don't care. I'm happy that Goldberg gets to do this for his son. I just don't care about him being back in the ring because it's going to be terrible. It's going to be a train wreck. Anyway, do you agree? Do you disagree with what I say? Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at the link in the description. It's been Real Aussie with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin, and I'll see you soon.